this happen after he was given the vaccination?
So I really don't know. There's a lot of controversy going on around that in US that it's not because of vaccination, or a group believes that it is because of vaccination.
But at this point, shouldn't we wonder that not every child is then capable of taking the vaccination? What are the first signs, basically?
Yeah, it's very important to sensitize the young generation because not many people know about it. In the beginning, most of the people say, okay, he's not doing this because his dad didn't do this on time. Normally the grandmothers and all will say that. Most very common symptoms or signs are that, the child will not be social. So if you are calling them, they'll not look at you. The eye contact is not there. The attention is not there. They don't perceive the information. Okay, they are cognitively impacted. They have the behavior issues. They have emotional issues. Okay, the language barrier is always there. It can be like not necessarily that everybody is like that. So it's a wide difference. So every child has a different level of challenges and strengths. So like one child can be like socially too social. The other can be less social. Can be lacking in the social skills. There can be pragmatic skill problem. There can be cognition problem. There can be language problem. Yes. So the biggest myth about autism is people think either they are Rain Man type. Okay. Either they are. I mean, many a times I hear from people, oh, these children have spatial talent. It's not like that.
No. Okay.
It's not.
Anita ji, welcome to the show. I'm very thrilled to talk to you. Before we started recording this, we had a long conversation and I got to know your story much more in detail. And having raised two kids who are on the spectrum, from knowing nothing on how to handle them to developing a whole curriculum around this subject, giving autistic kids tools to all the way to integrating them into the society. Tell me everything about your journey from the very beginning. What made you come this far? What was your inspiration, motivation, everything?
Thank you, Shikha. So it's a very big question. I can spend days and years to explain that, but I'll try to summarize it.
Yeah.
So yes, I do have two children on the spectrum, now young adults. My older one is 28 almost, and the other one is 24. And both my kids are on the opposite ends of the spectrum. So spectrum is very wide.
Yeah.
And having said that, normally when we talk about two different ends, is basically on the functional level of a child, like how functional they are. So one of my son is less than 50 percentile IQ, which means very low in IQ, which is actually intellectual disability level. And then my other one is like very high in IQ, who is already working, who's already working with a bank, is engaged and is doing really good. And he's a combination of ADHD and autism.
Wow.
So as a mother, for any girl to be a mother is a new experience. And but you have people helping around you. But then having a child on the spectrum and being a mother of an autistic kid is altogether a different story. And this is what I've lived, and it was very tough. It was very tough.
Let's break it down.
Yes.
So, what age did you get married?
So it was 20. I was 25.
You were 25. Yes. And when did you have your first child?
So after 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when did you discover that your son is on the spectrum?
So I did not even know, and I did not know the word spectrum. He was 2.5 months when he had some complications with his digestion or something. And I had to take him to different doctors. When I took him to AIMS in Delhi, and there was one very senior doctor, a pediatrician, who said that looks like your child is mentally retarded. This is the word he literally used. And that is what we all can relate to. We have heard that word, And that was the first time I realized I became mother. And I was like, how did he say that? I had my mother-in-law with me, and she was like, how dare you say it? We have nobody in our family who's like that. And then from there, the whole journey started. So that was some illness only, but that also because he had multiple disabilities. But by that time, I didn't know. We didn't know that, he had multiple challenges. And then, but that thing stayed in my head. That, is my child okay? I became very insecure. I was holding him all the time. So then after that, he was not holding his neck. He was not crawling on time. The milestones were not reached on time. And then everybody was like, because she holds a child. So every blame comes on the woman, on the mother. And little by little, I came to know that his muscles somewhere is like a rag doll. He cannot sit. At 6 months, he was not crawling. And that's when I told the pediatrician, because you know what, doctors, when you take a child to the doctor, they all see that, whether there's cold, cough, because every doctor is like different specialty, right? So, but that is the biggest problem in our whole medical system, that, everybody cures their own area or target, right? But they don't see that there should be a checklist, milestone checklist, even with the pediatrician. So I was never told that why is he not holding the neck? Is he walking? Is he crawling or not? So when I said every other child in the community or in my neighborhood is walking and he is not, then the doctor checked him and said, oh, looks like he's low muscle tone. And that is when it really kicked me. Okay, so what do we do? And then they referred my older one for early intervention in US, which is like a free service through the state, and the services started. And during that time, he was getting PT and OT. But because speech you cannot work on with a small baby, right?
What is PT and OT?
So PT is physical therapy because he's not walking, right? And OT is occupational therapy. But because he's not talking, so they did not give him speech. And then that's how the whole journey started. To make him walk was a big struggle, which I always talk about. Putting his legs, so he was not doing the tricycle. So I had to put his legs, tie them up with a thread. I used my own ways, put a Velcro around the pedal and then, push his legs and then make him do the tricycle. He was not able to because he didn't have that muscle strength. So coordination was off. So all those things. So, but I did not know that it is part of a bigger package. So this multiple disability is a part of bigger package, which is autism. So he has autism, he has muscular problem, which is hypotonia. He has kidney nephropathy disease, and he has a heart problem. It's unique aspect aortic valve. So he has a lot of combinations. So that was my struggle.
Yeah, with your older child.
Yes.
And today you're very proud to say that he has integrated into the society. He is doing well for himself also from where he started.
Yes. So
he's crossed
I
many
always say,
milestones.
if you have to see a child, you don't have to compare the child with the other one. I have two. One is on a very higher end, very good baseline of IQ. But if somebody says that, who are you more proud of for achieving and reaching his full potential? My older one. Because, his potential was very difficult to reach. He had so many other limitations, deficits,
from
challenges.
To here. And your younger one is working today, and he's like you said, he's engaged and he's fully integrated into the society.
Yes. So my younger one is a very unique case. So he was all okay, talking at 8 months, and we were like very happy that he is doing well, having one child on the spectrum, and then the second child. So all of a sudden, I took him for a doctor checkup where he was getting his MMR, and he was given toys, the MMR toys, which actually after getting the MMR, when I came home, the doctor called and said, by mistake, we gave him 2 MMR. So, is he okay? Did he get the fever? I said, no, rather he's very happy today. He's all over the place. And then soon after that, I came to India. And he stopped talking from that day. And I was like, why is he not talking? Everybody in India said that he's not talking, whereas you told us that he's talking. You made him talk to us on the phone. And I was like, I don't know. He started humming, like making a humming sound, air writing, and flapping his hands. And I was very confused what is happening. When I came back to US, I took him to the doctor, and the doctor said it can be cultural shock because different culture in India. I was like, okay. But then the school district used to come for my older one. And they said that, maybe the younger one also has autism. I was like, how can you say that? They said, you need to get him evaluated. He regressed. And then all the evaluation and everything, and they said he has selective mutism. And because he was all over the place, they said he has ADHD also. So,
but you think this happened after he was given the vaccination?
So I really don't know. There's a lot of controversy going on around that in US, that it's not because of vaccination, or a group believes that it is because of vaccination. But I really believe, so vaccination, what is vaccination? It's an environmental factor, right? So things do happen because of environmental factors. That is concrete these days, that as much as genetic factors are involved, but there are environmental factors. But I also believe that, so 1 in 34 in US. So why not 33 other? Why only
Right,
my child?
right, yeah.
Because he had that fragile factor. His brother is already on the spectrum.
Mm.
Maybe he had a gene that got mutated
Right,
because of the
right.
vaccination.
Yeah.
So it's not entirely vaccination, but it can be because of the environmental factor.
But at this point, shouldn't we wonder that not every child is then capable of taking the vaccination? Like, we are digressing, yes, but just to briefly touch this point so that people do become aware, because vaccinations for children is a to do, has to be done. But shouldn't there be a parameter check, or maybe some sort of checklist that, okay, these tests need to be done for every child to ensure that they are ready for this vaccination or not, because then otherwise anything can happen.
Yes, science has to come up with more research,
Yeah.
like what is effective.
Hmm.
We really have to have the reason why, why autism is happening.
Hmm.
It has increased, numbers have increased as much as
Yeah.
diagnosis,
Yeah.
more diagnosis is there. But there is definitely, we have to come up with the reasons why it is, and there has to be some kind of research that what is impacting it.
Absolutely.
I see in US, I see more here in India. So definitely there has to be a checklist. Parents who already have a child on the spectrum are very, very careful these days. They're not giving vaccination to their second child.
Yeah.
They're scared.
Absolutely. And the awareness has slowly come out, and people are becoming absolutely aware of, positives of the vaccination, also negative of the vaccination.
As
And they
much
want
as
to take a very conscious call whether this should be done or not. Of course, we are totally digressing. I understand that.
Right.
I want to come back to the topic, but this was also important to touch. That
Absolutely.
you take a conscious call for your child whether you want to give them the vaccination or not. Having said that, we are not promoting no vaccination, because as
Right.
much as we see that there could be potential problems, it's important as well.
It's important. So that's where I say
More
science has to come with
research.
more
Yeah.
research
Yeah.
and concrete answers that
Yes.
why is it happening,
Yes.
and it's much needed.
Yes,
Much needed.
absolutely.
be
The responsibility
given
is
attention.
then now on the doctors, government,
Right.
to come up with more research for parents, because then this is what you have a very happy, growing, healthy child, and suddenly because of vaccination, we're assuming
Right.
that such a thing can happen. You want to definitely not.
Yeah, as a parent, I want to. I'm scared. As a parent, I'm scared that
Yeah.
I really think it is like that. But then at the same time, there's no concrete research on that.
True.
So I just, we cannot, but we definitely have to come to some conclusion about that.
So then, having two kids on the spectrum, and one is already, like you said, is on the extreme end of spectrum, and very heavy case of disabilities, um, and problems, neurological problems also that you had to deal with. How was the motivation, or should we say, where did you find the strength to have another child?
Yes. So sometimes blessing in disguise, or sometimes your lack of knowledge. So when my older one I had, so I only thought that he's not walking. So that's a physical disability, right? So when he started walking, I was like, okay, everything is okay. Autism is invisible disability at times, Now it has become very visible because people know about the symptoms, signs, and everything. But that time I thought, oh, okay, he's not walking, now he's walking. Now let's go for the second one.
Okay.
So that was the thing that I went for the second one. If it is right now, I would never suggest any parent, because you know what? It is more important to work with a child that you have, and you don't know what risk you are taking,
Right.
what you are going ahead with. So it's really a big risk.
Absolutely. Suppose like understanding this entire thing through an example. Suppose I'm a new parent and I am on family way now. I want to have children. What would you tell me to be careful of when I'm having a child, and what tests to do, what to look out for, what to be sure of? What should I be including in my journey from now till I'm a mother and I have an infant then on? What all should I be careful of?
Okay. So yeah, this is what genetic testing is very, very important. But then again, as much as things, I really think personally that these things, everything happens for genetic reason, right? So, but also at the same time, there are certain things which you cannot find, like autism. Nobody knows the cause. Nobody knows. So, but if you see a family tree and you see in last 2 generations. Somebody who looked like, having those symptoms with dyslexia, or who didn't study much, or who was little odd man out. So these are the things you really have to look into.
This is when you're selecting a partner, you mean?
Right.
Right.
No, I don't know whether I should say that, because that is each one's call,
Yeah.
whether they want to. And I would say, having children is not the ultimate end.
Yeah,
There's so much more you can do in life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
I've seen that people are becoming more aware when they're selecting a partner. They really, now people are doing medical tests, and they are figuring out whether, how has your medical history been in your family. And this is not, we're not talking about autism,
right,
but
with
about
any other.
illnesses in general, because there's so many genetic problems also that we see are now coming up. So people do have that, that we should let's both get tested and see if this is a good fit or not. But I don't mind if people are doing that. That's a good, actually a good healthy step forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
It can be so many things. Let's not have children. Let's get testing done. Let's look for bigger goals. I don't know. It's to each one's own perception, how they take it. But I really think there's so much more to achieve in life. Having children is God's achievement. So we can do so many more things. But absolutely, they should look into it first. With numbers going so high.
Because you're bringing a new life into the world, you have to have the responsibility. Now, having said that, suppose I have a child now. How do I identify if the child is in the spectrum or not in the spectrum? How do I know? As just a homemaker, who cannot go to a doctor immediately, how do I know what are the first signs, basically?
Yeah, it's very important to sensitize the young generation, because not many people know about it. In the beginning, most of the people say, okay, he's not doing this because his dad didn't do this on time. Normally the grandmothers and all will say that. Or they think that the child is spoiled,
Right.
So there are certain signs for autism. First of all, pediatricians should have checklist. So any young parent who has a child should ask the pediatrician for a checklist. Do you have the checklist of milestones? Okay. Other than that, the most very common symptoms or signs are that the child will not be social. So if you are calling them, they'll not look at you. The eye contact is not there. The attention is not there. They will be flapping their hand. They'll be playing with their fingers. They'll be walking on the toes. So these are the red flags. These are the red flags of autism.
And if they find these signs in their children, they should definitely then consult.
Definitely.
But who should they go to? Who is the
pediatrician, and then from there, developmental pediatrician.
Okay.
And then the psychiatrist, neurologist. In India, it's a little different. In US, it's neurologist who evaluate, but in India, it's psychiatrist who evaluates. So I think both evalluate. So, and then, sound sensitivity, food sensitivity, sensory issues, so these are all the symptoms. And these are all the red flags that you should.
Because the spectrum is so wide. And for the audience, I want to break it down into simple terms. So if you were explaining autism to, let's suppose, a new parent, or suppose a teenager or a 5-year-old, how would you explain what autism is?
Okay, yes. So that's a very important question. Many times parents think that, okay, with the age, they will do it, right? So, okay, because I told you it's an invisible disability, right? So if a parent sees that a child is lacking in language, not paying attention, no name call response, okay, they are mostly like, all over the place. That is another thing. Having meltdowns, tantrums. These are all signs. These are all signs that, it is high time that you should go to the neurologist and get your child evaluated.
So when we say that, the child is on a spectrum, what does that mean? What does that mean for the child?
Yes. So they don't perceive the information. Okay. They are cognitively impacted. They have the behavior issues. They have emotional issues. Okay. The language barrier is always there. It can be like, not necessarily that everybody is like that. So it's a wide spectrum.
Exactly.
Child can be profoundly autistic, or he can be very high intellect. So it all depends.
So they are integrated into the society. They are going to school. They're meeting other children. They have friends, but they could still be on the spectrum.
Yes, they could be. So they have different. Every child has a different level of challenges and strengths. So like one child can be like socially too social. The other can be less social, can be lacking in the social skills. There can be pragmatic skill problem. There can be cognition problem. There can be language problem. So every child comes with a different. So there's a saying. In autism world: if you have seen one child with autism, you have only seen one child with autism. Yeah. So that means every child is different. It's like DNA. Right. Every imprint is different. When there's a mutation, it's different. You don't know. Right. You are making tea today. It will taste tomorrow different. It will taste the other day different. So it's like that. And it's really like every child is different. Every child is absolutely different. Absolutely. Now, quickly, can we discuss what are the myths around autism? Yes. So the biggest myth about autism is people think either they are Rain Man type, either they are. I mean, many a times I hear from people, oh, these children have special talent. It's not like that. No. Okay. It's not. Yeah. Some of them do, and as much as other children, the mainstream children. But there are cases where children are profoundly, or they have profound autism. There are a lot of challenges. You cannot even believe, and you cannot even imagine the life of a parent whose child is profoundly on the autism with self-abusive behavior, violent behavior, sensory issues, not being able to sleep disorders, not being able to eat everything, very picky eaters. So, sensory overloaded. So there's a lot of, so these are the myths that, oh, the child is very talented in one thing. No. And there is also another myth that, oh, if they're on the spectrum, they cannot do anything. It's not like that. It's not at all like that. So, there is a lot of potential. It's a disorder. You can really try your best, give intervention, and try to put things together. Right. With the intervention, lot changes. Right. So both the ends are myths. Now, going back to your life, I know that you were in the US where you had your sons also, and your marriage has been difficult also, and you got divorced some 13 years ago. How has the family been impacted with kids who are in the spectrum when they see the broken marriage? And was it a challenge making them understand that, this is what is happening in the family right now? And or were they understanding it? What were their takeaways, and how did it disturb them in any way? Yes, the most burden comes on me, like how you were saying, right? Yeah. First, we have to heal ourselves, and then only. So the biggest burden was like, yes, I was raising them single-handedly, right? As much as during the weekend they had the visitation from the father, but it took a toll because for them, they're already not social. They already lack that emotional bonding, right? And then with one parent, me already going through so many challenges of putting things together, providing for them and everything. It is a big challenge, and emotionally also they get disturbed because they are used to have certain structure, certain atmosphere, and then all of a sudden, if you have to change that, that impacts. And right now, also, I'm struggling with the custody of my son, who was in my custody for 27 years, and now I cannot bring him here because of the legalities and all that. So it's a big toll on the children. My son is really not doing so well because he has been impacted. His primary caregiver is not with him. Not around, yeah. Yes, I decided to, work here, and then there were all legal complexities, and it has impacted them both. So I want to know that, from the time you stopped working and you were a full-time mother, you came to a point where you knew that now you have to earn for your kids. At 48, when you started, what did you think that you're going to now do? What were the skills you had? What would you do for survival and for your kids also? So, ironically, I was told that the only weakness I have is autism. The only thing I work for, look forward to, or do is autism. Yeah. And it was thought that, that is my weakness. And that day I decided it's not my weakness, it's my strength. Right. And that is when I started tutoring children. I thought, okay, let me take students who I can tutor because it's the only thing I know. Yeah. And that time I knew very little because I had only 2 of my children that I had raised. Yeah. And working with these children one after other within no time, because the passion was always there. Yeah. The belonging, the belonging was always there. So I treated the children who came to me. I'm very thankful that our culture, especially our Indian people, trust each other very fast. Mm-hmm. So the parents, when they heard about me, oh, your children have done good, so why not bring our children? And when those children started coming to me, I learned so much from them. more than I could teach them. I learned because I told in the beginning that each child on the spectrum is different. So if I'm teaching one child, I'm only teaching one child.
Right.
The other child will learn in a different way and will have different needs.
Yeah.
So I have learned so much from these children. I still remember there was a little girl called Mila. She came to me. She was like full to ADHD, but her IQ was like so high. But in the beginning, when she came to me, she was 2.5 years, if her parents are listening. And she was not able to comprehend anything. She had echolalia. So everything she would repeat. And when I started teaching her, I had to develop a technique. How will I cut that echolalia? So, I developed a certain thing, which like if I had to ask her, what do we use when it's raining? So she would repeat, what do we use when it's raining? So I would say, what do we use when it's raining? We use, and then she would complete. We use the umbrella, she would say. So that's how I learned from them so much.
On the job.
Yes. So this autism has taught me, it's such a blessing in my life.
Absolutely.
As much as it has taken from my life, it has really blessed me with so many things, with patience, with unconditional love, with giving back. You know how we can give back with confidence, with trusting that there is so much that we can do if we decide that we can.
And you're helping so many children now. When you started, obviously you were trying to fill some gaps in the system. What were those gaps that you identified and you felt that these need to be fixed? If the children have to be integrated into the society, then they have to be able to do this. And this is where I come in. So what were those things?
Yes, when I was raising my own children, so I saw there were gaps, like like especially my son who's on the lower side of the spectrum. For him, there was no curriculum. So how to teach him? For everything, I had to come up with some strategy, like a visual-based strategy to make him understand certain things. The high-functioning one was okay, but even for him to make him understand, there were so many struggles. And that was my TRP, you can say, that I knew that this is something that education system in US lacks. They go to school, there's something called ABA, there is speech, but how about learning more, like plus, minus, values? How do we teach them? So that is when I thought about creating a visual-based program, visual-based approach, a holistic approach. There were gaps like, okay, a parent want their child, and especially the Indian parents, they want their child to be an engineer, a doctor. They're only talking about that. How about the social skills, pragmatic skills, the attention? The children should be self-regulated. They should be self-engaged. They should be socially not awkward. They should not have behavior problems. So targeting every area, that's how I learned, and I integrated the whole thing in my program, which became a big hit.
Absolutely. And how many children did you help in your years in US?
Many. So many, but not only help, there were many families whose children got mainstreamed and were out of the special need classes. And I'm very proud about that. They never met me after that because they were so busy with their life. But I am proud, which that means they're happy in their life. So that is there present to me. But but each child has left some imprint, and some knowledge, has given or passed on some knowledge to me, which I have integrated in this whole holistic program, visual-based program, which has 2,700 drills, which is going to be made in India, delivered to the world. And that will be a legacy from not only my children, but the knowledge I've gotten from all other children.
Absolutely. And I know that you've got a few awards also from US government. We would love to hear about them also.
Yes. So I'm self-taught. I don't have no degrees. And I've got Governor's Award. I've got proclamation. I have got Indian Academy Award. And here Uttarakhand government recognized me. And so a lot of yes. Those are feathers on my hat.
So, having achieved so much from a background where everything was holding you back, not working for 2 decades, and then reworking, starting all over again and coming this far, and you've helped so many children besides your own. You've brought your program now to India and it has been accepted. And now you are in the initial stages of establishing the whole ecosystem here as well. And you're going to be integrating the same system in different cities also in India. So tell us more about this program. How do parents reach out to you? How do they search you? The name of the foundation. Tell us everything.
Yes, sure. So as much as I'm very thankful that I've learned so much from autism and everything, I'm very thankful to few people. And especially there's a family called Nawani family. That's a family of doctors. So when I met them for the first time, um, they were the one who invited me to open a center in India. I never thought, before that I never came to India for 12 years after my divorce. So once I met them, I came for Uttarakhand government recognized me for my work, and I met this family, and I immediately decided when they offered me that, like to open a center here, and I was like all in for it because it is such a big need here. We have many schools. We have, I mean, people are doing good work here, but then again, the same kind of gap. What I see in US, that the bar is not raised higher for learning. When you have a child with special need, everybody tells you, oh, there's a special needs school in that place. Why don't you try over there? Or if the children are going in a regular class with a high functioning skills, then regular schools say we are not able to handle them. They have a lot of pressure because they don't have tools for skill development.
Absolutely.
So this is where looking into all these gaps, I really decided that if this family is being so generous and they want to open this center, the founder Dr. Nishant Nawani and the co-founder Dr. Jaya Nawani, the first center is opening in Dehradun, and we together have plans to open in many other places. It was much needed, and this brings me here. This brings me to India, and nothing like giving back to my Devbhoomi or overall to my India. So and it feels so good. Emotionally, I connect with people. When I'm doing the program here, it's so different. Doing it back in US was for a need, for running my family. As much as I gave back to the community, I had a non-profit also over there. But doing it here, meeting your own people, evaluating their children is another level of satisfaction. And I really feel proud.
So what do the parents hope to achieve from this program for their children?
They have to really think about that their children have the potential. And they can do more than what these parents think when the children are evaluated and when they get the diagnosis. It's not the end of the world. It's a beginning of a new journey.
Absolutely.
That whatever you want to put, bolte na, jitna shahad daloge utna meetha hai. So jitna aap effort karoge, your child will reach their full potential.
Right. So, before they even come to you, I mean, for a parent to come to you will come after a lot of acceptance that, okay, my child is on the spectrum. Where do you see Indian society is right now on this?
Yes, we are very lacking behind. So I told you right from the time when the pediatrician is not having a checklist and not telling the parent, a new parent doesn't know how does a baby look like, what are the milestones,
Absolutely.
So once they come to know, then my main thing, what is my main thing which I was not able to get in my life is I want both the parents to contribute equally. In our society, many a times I see the whole burden comes on mothers. So my program's first agenda is when you're coming for evaluation of a child, both parents must be present.
Absolutely.
What I've gone through, I don't want the other families to go through.
So that's what caregivers' health is equally important, mental and physical, because in Indian society, in society by large, mothers are the primary caregivers. Absolutely. And the whole burden of children and their well-being, their upbringing falls on the mothers only. That's a general trend. It's not just limited to Indian society. It's more so here, I understand. But having said this, you've lived this life where you've had two children on the spectrum, where you've said that you've had no break for 27 years. How was the toll on your mental health, on your physical health? Do you want to address that for parents who might be going through the same thing? How important it is for them to take to look after their own health?
Yes, absolutely. So each person is different. I am mentally very strong. Maybe somebody is not, or maybe at times I'm not strong. So it is very important for a parent to equally work towards the child, both the parents. And not only that, it's equally important for a parent to get respite and take a breather. Calm down. Think that, you should not have a guilt that, 24 hours you have to give back to this child. You should also have your own breaks. Absolutely. And that is the biggest gap here. We should have a program called Respite, or we are going to implement that in Myra Care, Rahat. One time, or even the neighbors, or even your own people, if they say an offer that, why don't you leave the child with me for an hour and go have a coffee break, or go on vacation, leave the child with me. It's very difficult for the parents to be taking their children everywhere where all the eyes are on their children. They're emotionally and socially really not feeling comfortable. So it's really important for people to take break and take a deep breath and think that the burden is not on them. The burden is especially mothers.
Yeah, because unless I'm feeling fine, I can't help another one feel fine as well.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, the primary goal of my journey in this should be to look after myself equally well, also, so that I can provide really well to my child also.
Yeah.
But like you just mentioned, that children can't be taken anywhere because all eyes will be on them. That's the social stigma that we have to fight as well. That fine, a child may not look like yours or may not behave like yours, but the acceptance, that okay, ये कमी है इस बच्चे में, पहले वो एक्सेप्ट करके फिर उसको बाहर ले जाना, फिर उसको डॉक्टर से मिलवाना और ऐसे बच्चों से भी मिलवाना, ये हेल्प करता है.
Definitely, both ways you should work. So first you accept it, then you work towards it. See, of course, social awkwardness is a big thing. Anybody sees, not that they mean anything bad to you, but social awkwardness is observed by people instantly because it's visible, right? So I say accept it, but then at the same time take your child outside, let him be accepted and teach him that this is the right way of doing it, or this is the way of doing it according socially appropriate way of doing it, right? So I always say try to take that social awkwardness out. How will you do that? By integrating them into a social setup. So very, very important to take them everywhere they deserve. Every child deserves to be enjoying what other mainstream kids are enjoying.
Take them out like you do, like you go out, take them out everywhere.
Everywhere, absolutely. They deserve it. And if you're not doing that, it's a violation of human rights.
Absolutely, yeah. Because like you were saying, there are cases where kids are not taken out of home for 13 years because of
the social stigma. And that's very, I mean, I understand parents get that because, the society gives it. But at the same time, it is high time that we have to accept things, diversities. It can be neural diversity, it can be social diversity, it can be anything, the way we look, the way we behave. So it can be so many different things. So I really think it's about time that we accept, and the parents who have children, they also accept it and not feel ashamed about it.
Absolutely, yeah. And acceptance then will come in the society by large, which is so important because we see the number of cases increase so much more nowadays.
I mean, the assumption is like in next 100 years, every second person is going to be on the spectrum. So then the mainstream people will be like,
very few. Yes, they will be the awkward.
Exactly, yeah, that's what. So this is how the trend is changing.
Since we're talking about the same topic and we want to understand more about how your center works, understanding mental health of parents themselves, about being empathetic towards these parents also. How do you bring all of this together in your centers? Spirituality, compassion. How do you integrate this with the learning environment that you have?
You see, once you are a parent of a child with special need, you already are inclined towards spirituality. You already have compassion because you have seen that part. Take me, I was like a tomboy. I was raised in an army family and went to LSR. And when I had my son, before that, I didn't know. I didn't have that empathy, and neither are we taught on a large, in a large way that you have to be compassionate, you have to be empathetic. But then I realized after having my children, my son taught me so much that there are certain things which you cannot change, and you have to settle down, calm down, accept it for what it is, and then move on. So this is what I always tell. If you want the society to give back, and get involved, first let's start it with ourselves. If one parent, like in my center also, I see that there are parents where their children who are less functioning, who are high functioning. Between those parents also, there is so much of conflict that, because of this child, my child is grabbing the behavior. It's not like that. If that child had to learn, he would learn from a general mainstream kid also. Right. So just take that stigma out. First, include your own children within your community. and then accept or expect from other people. So it is very important, and this is what we teach, that if you want to volunteer, like if you have another child who's a regular child, let them volunteer. Let them volunteer with our children. Let them volunteer for our children. Let them volunteer for something else, for fundraising or something. So this is how we teach. First we teach our community, and then we go outside.
Very interesting, because the immediate family will still be supportive and empathetic, etc. But the outside world, for whom this could be new or strange, if we're integrating them, then the understanding, the compassion automatically will spread.
Absolutely. And I always say, like, you are here. From today, if you take a pledge, or anybody who's listening, take a pledge that once in a year, I will give 1 hour, one of my volunteer hour for these children or for any other cause. The world will be such a beautiful place.
What a beautiful thought.
It's very important. It's much needed.
So now please tell us a bit about your program Shine Avi Care and how it's collaborated with Myra Care in India, and what does this offer to India that India doesn't currently have for kids on the spectrum.
Okay. So Shine Avi Learning Center is a holistic learning program for children with special needs or on the autism spectrum, which is a visual-based program. And collaborating with Myra Care, we are bringing the same program and the approach here. And India so far has therapeutic approach and a regular approach that is not modified and not visual based for higher functioning kids. So we are bringing everything under one roof, where the different age levels are catered through our different programs: early intervention, one-on-one holistic program, social skills, and then independent work task system for adults. So everything, but in everything, the core values are learning. We raise the bar higher for learning, whether it's baby or adult. Learning is a process that will keep going in a modified way, visual based way that is friendly to our children with special needs or children on the spectrum.
Right. And I'm assuming that the program in India is same for all kids. It's not individualistic, is it?
It is individualized education program. So the curriculum is based on Shine Avi publication, which is a curriculum of 2,700 drills, which is all visual based. So how these children learn language is based on how they will catch it. So language is not something that caught all of a sudden. It has stages and it has parameters, So if a child knows vocabulary, which is, first of all, it's sound and the articulation. Okay, that is speech. And then comes the second thing, which is expressive language, receptive language, communicating and expressing yourself. And that means component of different types, which can be like labels, which can be comprehension, which is WH questions, why, what, where, when, how. And then after that, it becomes reasoning, crystal reasoning, fluid reasoning. And then after that is inferencing, how you infer the information and then throw it back. And then after that, main ideas, how to figure out main ideas, pragmatic language, reciprocal, conversational, spontaneous language. So this whole program elevates a child's level in different sectors by offering them the visual cues.
Basically, this enables them to communicate properly with the world, with the community, etc.
Learn communication.
Learn
communication.
Yes. Because that is one challenge with these children, because they're not able to express what's going on in their mind.
Right. So, absolutely, yes. You have to give them that tool where they can express themselves. The more they're able to express themselves, they will connect with other people. So communication is a big problem and challenge with our children. Absolutely. So this program is mainly about language and communication.
And you also give them platforms to showcase their skills. Like somebody wants to paint, somebody wants to dance, sing.
Yes. So we have the Myra Care Foundation is a non-profit. It's a Section 8 company, which is based on people's income. The way we charge them. And they have another program which is adapted again from US model. I had Attach Avi Autism Foundation, where we give social platform to these children. So each child has something to offer, or something to celebrate life for. So like my own son wanted to dance on the stage, but who will put him on the stage? Because he's not the best, but within his own capacity, he's the best. And I want to give him that platform. So we created a program called We Have Got Talent Too, which is a talent show where these children come on the stage and showcase their talent.
This was in US.
Yes, in US.
Yeah.
The same day, there'll be somebody who will be showing their art gallery. There'll be somebody who will be showing their fancy dress. So things like that. Plus celebrating different occasions like Christmas, Diwali, and all these things. So it's all part of giving back to the community.
Absolutely. So this program will also be integrated in India.
Yes, absolutely.
Great.
This will be part of that. As much as other mainstream children celebrate things and get platforms for different things, we want to do the same norm for our children too.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Now, suppose a parent wants to reach out to you for their child, चाहे वो अर्ली इंटरवेंशन के लिए हो या फिर डायग्नोसिस के लिए हो या फिर प्रोग्राम के लिए हो, how do they reach out to you? How do they find you?
Okay, so Myra Care Foundation is based in Dehradun. So they're anytime welcome if they want a center-based approach.
Right.
Okay, if they want a curriculum-based approach, we are coming out. AnitaThapliyal.com is a domain where I'm an activist. I offer the learning program. After June, we'll be making our program public and it'll be in the public domain for parents to use it. We can mentor the parents for that. So they can reach us out through that.
And I understand that you are an autism activist and you want to make this common knowledge to people in India about the programs, the lack of facilities, the lack of understanding, awareness. How are you doing it? How are you spreading this word?
Yes, we'll have different approaches. We'll do seminars.
Right.
Seminars for even doctors, seminars for teachers, seminars for students, high school students and college students about autism awareness. What is it? What are the signs, symptoms? I've already done it in 2012 when I started my professional journey. And I have visited almost all 65 schools in Delhi and I did a huge walk at India Gate that time, autism awareness walk. And I have plans to do it again through Myra Care over here in India. So it's the first center and I'm it's my first baby. So, and the family is like wonderful family who really want to go, and out of the world, they want to do things, So we'll be doing seminars, we'll be doing walks, talk shows. And if anybody wants to have corporate seminars, we are going to get involved with that.
Also the awareness how these children can be integrated into the society, into the working society. What are the ways, means, which is where your corporate seminars are really going to help?
Yes, and the social skills program, where we want to include the high school students. So if we have a social skill group where there are 6 of our children, we want to have 6 of other mainstream kids who can shadow them. And we can give them certificates for volunteering and that sensitizes them, creates empathy and how to give back to the community.
So important.
Yes, very important.
Yeah, because we do see that India is lacking behind in the programs for these children. Again, sensitizing the society around these children. So with your programs, I'm sure it's going to make a huge difference.
People have to know that there always has to be a part of them which has to give back to the community. So one thing I've seen is, here, people have plans after retirement, I'll take care of my grandchild. I will go Tirth. Okay, I will do this. I will go vacation. But is there anything for giving back to society? Because we are in that stage towards the retirement where we should do something to give back to the community after getting so much from life. That, so I really think one of the things should be this. I really, really request everybody that if they incorporate this in their life, just to show count their blessings. That will be wonderful.
Volunteering at your center for one.
Yes, absolutely. For anything. For anything for that reason, वृद्धाश्रम में, अनाथ आश्रम में, कहीं पे भी.
Figure it out.
Yes, figuring out in what ways they want to. See, this is the cause near to my heart, autism, because I've lived it. Whatever you have lived, please do that.
And at that age, you have a wealth of experience.
Exactly. Time, experience.
Time, absolutely. So give it back to society. Great message. So what you are bringing to the society, to the world now after your own experience is tremendous amount of energy, the new curriculum that's going to help children, you bringing in your own wealth of knowledge back to India and helping these children here, which is amazing for all of us here now. But having lived this life and having gone through all these experiences, with your marriage, with your children, what do you think you learned spiritually and from where you were, like you were saying that you were a tomboy before, to where you are now in your 60s? What do you think is your takeaway from this journey? How have you grown spiritually?
Yes. So this whole journey has taught me that everything happens for a reason. That is first thing, you know. So if I was not calm, now I become very calm.
Yeah.
If I didn't have the unconditional love, my children have taught me what is unconditional love. You know, you're doing for someone who's never going to give you back anything, and you still do it because you love that person. You know, you learn that, you know, there was some reason that this thing happened, and now you want everything to be okay in your next life or even within this life. Maybe who knows, this good karmas will make you reach somewhere, and it is happening. Whatever I did with my children, because of my children, I'm able to help the community so much. I'm able to help hundreds and thousands of children. So the spiritual part of it is this, that, you know, okay, maybe with my own karma, you know, refining my own karma, defining my own karma, I'm going to reach a level where I'm not going to have any regrets that I did not do anything that did not help, you know, or I used every second of my life, and I am going to be peaceful in the end.
So, if you had to give one message to the parents raising neurodiverse children in today's day and age, with the entire experience you've had, what would that message be?
Okay, so that message would be that, you know, your child is not broken. They're beautifully wired. Count them as your blessing. Universe chose you. When these children come in the world, God will ask them. They're the only one who are asked, who do you want your parent to be? And they chose you with a lot of trust. So think that they are your blessing. Accept them for who they are, and you will be able to serve them better.
Do not
and you'll
be
be at
ashamed
peace.
of them.
Yes, absolutely.
Do not hide them. Do not keep them away.
Yes.
Okay. And I would really like to know, because your past has been so um, difficult, if I could say, what has been your one affirmation or one mantra that you have relied on that has been your support?
My thing is, every child can learn.
Yeah.
Every fight can be fought. Every wound can heal. So take it as your blessing and think like this, that this was your duty in this birth, and you'll be peacefully able to do this. There's light, you just have to see it.
Um, so this has been an amazing conversation. I've had a lot of fun. I've learned a lot. Um, your journey has been very inspiring, and everything that you've been through, and everything you've achieved, and everything that you're doing for the children here and in USA is very inspirational. And I wish you all the best. I want this to be a success. I want more parents to come out, more parents to meet you. And this should become common knowledge that, you know, like you said, these children are not damaged. They're beautiful. They're beautifully wired. They're differently wired. And embrace them, acknowledge them, and help them just blossom. And this is where you come in beautifully. And with that, we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. And I learned so much spiritually, getting connected and thinking, you know. So this is the first time that, you know, I also realized that, you know, there's always a spiritual connection. We just have to figure it out, take it positively, and think that it was meant to be.
Right. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.